Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P-Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab. Why do what I do for you? I'm going to do part two for third parable, so let me get ready. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message and story for life. I give you life lessons, sometime from here, sometime from the book, but it's all life lessons that you can use and benefit to, aka know yourself with. So that's what I do for you. So let's go. Right thinking, mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's my mission, is that all right thinkers do just that. So I do what I do to get you the information so you can do what you need to do. Know thyself. Let's go. I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. But if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. Help you to know you. So the question, know thyself. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can wake them up. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right? Think of know thyself. And to my yacht be true. I wrapped up the last parable 3 with other examples of positive desires are desires to what help humanity and nature and visit spiritual centers, which you're part of the church, and read spiritual texts. That's my church family. So let's go. Now, the spiritual teachings, excuse me, right thinkers, let's talk about you have to show calmness and truthfulness in the end of this third parable. That's where we are right now. So the spiritual teachings shows the fallacy of what ignorant and egoistic teaching and the manner in which it degrades the mind to the extent of what causing people to act callously and selfishly. Egoistic desires will have you doing that. That's the Satanian effect. Watch this. When a person acts in negative set ways, he or she is in reality going against inner nature, aka Maya, which is good. The higher truth deep down. This acts, watch this acts as a poison. When you go against nature, it acts as a poison in one's mind and body. Watch this, which manifests as physical or mental disease. I did a lesson about stress and disease. I don't know what happened to it, but that's what this is talking about. Disease comes from your body chakras being out of balance and you start having problems. But watch this. The act of this act as a poison and disease such as, watch this, agitation, that's aggravating to the mind. Restlessness, you can't really get comfortable. Arguing or fighting what? Nature. That is a definite no-no. You ain't going to win that fight. And selfishness. That's the ego. All this is personification of the ego self, etc. There's a whole bunch of more, but I'm going to stop right there. Why? Because when the problem becomes acute, watch this, that means it ain't getting better, it's getting worse. And advanced mental and physical diseases arise. What you talking about? Such as schizophrenia, the mind ain't on the same page. You got dementia, the mind ain't being used, so it turns to mush. It can't recall. Then you got delusions, concepts and ideas that when I went to the crazy house, I was diagnosed with delusions of grandeur. So I was delusional. Okay, they thought. Moving on. Hallucinations. seeing things that ain't there. And this causes what? Also ulcers in the stomach. That's the physical part. And guess what? Cancer. And again, much more, etc. I'll stop right there because ultimately the affliction of set, aka negativity in the mind, leads to the disease of negative karma, hellish conditions, and reincarnation. I watched it for myself. I learned I'm not going out like that. Sorry, dude. You showed me a lot of things. Appreciate and love it. And that's one of them. That's also, I took that as a plus. Now, so Tahuti, which is your mind, Ra's mind, the right mind, your higher self, tells Hethadu, which is you, in the parable of what? He tells the parable about two jackals who were spared. Why? By a lion because of their calmness and truthfulness. Let's talk about that. As previously discussed, calmness is an important quality for all right thinkers. It implies, watch this, remaining balanced, my girl, in what? The time when there is temptation or when there is disruption or disturbance, but in the environment, aka the disturbance in the force loop. Use the force. That's what you got to understand. You work with nature. Nature is what sustains us. It means maintaining, first of all, an equal vision, seeing clearly towards what? All things, and not letting one's emotion, dispassion, hold sway when what? A decision needs to be made. If you are caught up passionately, you caught up egotistically, you're going to make bad decisions every time it's time to make one. So it means controlling your emotions. I keep telling you that. And your what? Your physical desires and not allowing them to what? Control your life. If you live for pleasures of the flesh, if you live for making that dollar, if you live for anything other than bettering yourself and serving your higher self, it's all for naught. Moving on. That's I'm gonna leave that right there. So your goal should be to get to him. And I'm trying to get you to understand that so you can do it for yourself. I didn't tell you what to do. I'm just trying to show you in the way to do what you need to do for yourself. It means, watch this, right thinkers. It means living in accordance with truth and reason and what? Holding fast to correct action. Even when the mind and body desires something else. I had to do what's right when I didn't want to. So I learned that lesson the old fashioned way, the hard way. Man, okay. But once you learn that lesson, you'd be so much better off for that. That's my point. Okay, I want to make that point clear to you. Why? When you learn that lesson, you're better. Now, in ancient Egyptian Maya philosophy, okay, got the book. This practice is referred to as what? Keeping, you see me do this, the balance. This is me giving her props on a regular basis. Without balance, won't nothing happen. So understand that. Remember, she's the first thing Ra did when he came out of the new. He needed order. Maya. That's what she represents. And watch this. Now, that practice is called keeping the balance. Calmness of mind implies what? Developing equal vision or impartiality. Only do what's right. I don't care about how it look, how it feel. What no make a difference. I'm gonna do what's right. Simple as that. And I'm passionate with that because I've experienced it myself. So I can say wholeheartedly, you have to do what's right even when you don't want to. And when you do that, it does something to you, makes you a better person from the inside. And this, watch this. This means not being, watch this, affected by what? The ever-changing situations and circumstances of life. Maintain your cool. I just did a lesson about that. My mom, she's always been cool in adverse situations. Whatever's going on, she was always cool. No matter what I do, she don't never jump up and down. I ain't see my mother get excited about nothing. And I think back on it, but yeah, another lesson. But maintaining an air of integrity and dignity within yourself. And watch this. And be they positive or negative. Don't make a difference. Handle yourself in the right manner. You don't control the situation. You just control you in the situation. When you get good at that, that's the point. It means, watch this, cultivating positive thoughts, right thinking, and then remaining what centered in one's own self, neither expecting fulfillment of your desires, nor expecting that they will not be fulfilled. Why? But surrendering to the divine will who knows what's best. I know if I do the right thing, I know there's a reward for me. I know that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You find out for yourself if you do it. Why? He don't discriminate. He don't pick and choose. If you do right, you got a blessing coming. But remember, balance. If you do wrong, you got a punishment coming. When we can teach our young that concept, and we'll start seeing them, they'll make their own decisions. Why? Because they'll recognize the truth in themselves, not nothing else. Why? They're conducting and carrying themselves as better people. That's the goal. It is, watch this, it is the art of remaining neutral in all conditions, flatline, and knowing that the divine will what? Will provide the appropriate result for what? All right actions performed. All right actions performed will be rewarded. This discipline also involves drawings, watch this, inner satisfaction. Again, when you do something for the good, you feel good. Quick story. My mother-in-law, who my spiritual advisor, she been living Maya all her life because she said when she was a kid, when she tried to steal something or do something that's wrong, she just didn't feel good. So she strayed away from that. And she lived a life based on that. She's a good person. Love her to death. So yeah, if you are programmed to do the right thing, you will. And when you hold yourself accountable, you don't have to be no more. Why? Because it becomes a part of you, a way of life. Living right now is how I live. Why? I don't program myself to do what's right. You can do the same. That's my point. And when you draw from your satisfaction from what? Doing a job well done and allowing, watch this, the divine to reward you, to flow through you for the betterment of all humanity, instead of, watch this, looking to fulfill your own selfish personal desires and receive the fruits or reward of your labor that you've done. If you just doing it for that, that's selfish. I don't do this for me. I do this for you. Moving on. But that's the concept. The discipline of calmness means remaining balanced when things are going well, and also when what? They don't seem to be going well, but knowing that God has everything, God's got it, and well in hand. He got everything well in hand, and that whatever the outcome may be, you will never lose when you're playing with God. You can't lose when you got God, and that's what you can use. If you use anything else, you're going to risk to losing. So choose God. Eternity, watch this, and immortality is the reward for a life lived righteous. I'll take that deal. Well, how you know for sure? Don't care, but I'm gonna do my side. If they don't come get on their promise, that's on them. But if I do what I'm supposed to do, I done did my job. So that's what it's all about. And if that's your concept, you believe, you ain't worried about, well, what if I get there and it ain't real? Oh, what if it ain't? What if you don't do what you need to do? What happened then? So your decision. And watch this. It is understanding that even in the divine, if the divine self brings what? You some situation that appears to be negative, called adversities in life. Watch this. That is to what? That it is ultimately for your what? Greater benefit to see how you handle in your spiritual enlightenment. You know everything ain't gonna be roses, but when the situation come up, it's how you handle it. God wants to see how you deal with them. A person who has, watch this, advanced and calming the mind can experience oneness with who? God. Know thyself, and the source of peace and bliss at any time and in any place. You can see the book Introduction to Maya Philosophy, written by my man Mugata Ashby. Truthfulness. Let's talk about that. To wrap this up. Okay, I got a little bit of time. I'm almost home. Let's talk about truthfulness. What's truthfulness? Truthfulness is important. Why? Because life is meaningless without truth. Simple as that. Let me right there. Them two guys back there, for no truth. Watch this. And that end game didn't end well for neither one of us. Without truth, nothing real can be known. It's all a facade. It's all a game. It's all like a dream. You live in a dream world, but eventually you're going to wake up and realize this was a nightmare. If a person lives their life in accordance with what? With ignorance, that's what we're doing, drug dealers, and egoism. Oh yeah, feeling ourselves. Cadillac driving, Big Willie, yeah, okay. That's all what they're saying. I experienced that for myself, so I know that's not. Trust me. Everything we experienced was an illusion. Again. And consequently, what happened? They would never be able to discover true happiness or inner peace. That's 100% right. I didn't get no happiness. I didn't get no peace. All I got was 3 years of my time to think about that nonsense. So, bad deal. For example, most people, watch this, believe that if they win the lottery, and because my mom and dad are locked up for that, I don't play the lottery. It was illegal when we was doing it. Now y'all can do it. It's okay. So I don't subscribe to that. Okay. So watch this. When you win the lottery, you will be happy. We know the percentage of people who win all that money without knowledge and understanding that a fool in money, man told me this one, a fool in his money will soon part. Simple. So this is an ignorant understanding. If you believe that, that's just ignorant. You don't know no better. So that's what ignorant means. It don't mean you're stupid or dumb. It just means you don't know. So if you think that, it's obvious you're ignorant. So watch this. Their wealth gained from the lottery will only lead to what? More mental agitation, elation when it's good, greed because it's money, and what happens? You got frustration later on, and the exasperation of what? Their present psychological characteristics and tendencies. They will only be happy what? For a short period of time. Why? Because even one lifetime is short as compared to eternity. Nothing you can get here that's going to take the place of eternity. I got my seat punched. I'm good to go. So I'm telling everybody who I could, listen, get your house in order. Move on. I ain't the preacher, so I ain't got time to preach to you about God. I'm going to teach you. You need to know God for yourself. And when you serve him, that's on you. In addition, watch this. They are creating what? False impressions, okay, of their unconsciousness and the source of true happiness. 1 second. Sorry about that. Yeah, that was my pastor. We got our morning tete-a-tete on. But yeah, in addition, watch this. I'm gonna go back to the last statement. Now, in addition, they are creating false impressions in their unconscious as to what the source of true happiness. When you think, and watch this, when you think and feel anything that's gonna get you where you want to go, that's wrong. Why? And consequently, what's gonna happen in their future lifetimes? You heard that? In their future life, meaning you're being reincarnated, cause something you didn't do. So in your future lifetimes, there would be what? They would be very unhappy whenever they find themselves without what? Lots of money. It is so important that a right thinker make every effort to what? Understand that the only source, and hear me good, the only source of happiness is the spirit which you are, aka God, which what? Has manifested through the conditioning of your own RE actions that has been processed through misconnect, okay, your destiny, and even when your spiritual aspiration is not strong enough to prevent you from what? Deluding yourself, and you find yourself elated as a result of having acquired some object or a situation that went in your favor in the world of time and space. Remind yourself that the source of that happiness you are experiencing is what? Due to the self, aka your higher, and not the object that's you getting that's making you happy. Also, reflect on the spiritual teachings of right thinking, which tells you that the happiness which you experience as a result of some happening in the world is like what? One drop, excuse compared to the whole ocean of happiness that awaits you when what? When you attain spiritual enlightenment. You go from a little to all. Simple as that. Watch this. Then the only thing, and only then will what? Will you discover true happiness and true wealth. Wealth ain't how much you got. Wealth is how much you don't need. The happiness that objects, watch this, and situations offer is like a mirage. No sooner do you attain it and experience it for a short period of time, it just vanishes into thin air, leaving you what? Feeling insecure and most times miserable and dejected. You must continuously what? Reflect that true happiness comes from where? Discovering the higher self who is what? Infinite, peace, immortal, eternal, and has the what? Power to overcome all obstacles. That's God. That's who you really are. When you do that, you have mastered right thinking philosophy and yourself. That's the goal for all right thinkers. I'm getting you that. Hope you're making it. Let's go. I'll be back. There more. Parable number 4.